There's this whole part of your guitar existence when you're going to be in a feel-oriented, noodling around playing headspace, like now I'm dancing, as opposed to learning dance steps. Right now we need to recognize that we're taking steps in that direction, and that we're in a very, consciously focused, doing stuff a certain way on purpose, even if it doesn't sound particularly cool. So the biggest way that you can save yourself time, and it seems counterintuitive, is to really be a hard ass on yourself about starting position. Just be sure that the guitar's like this, that you don't have to do this to steady it or anything. Just kind of like get your bearings. Be sure you don't have the guitar too far back or too far forward. It's just parallel, right angles like that. And let's try to go 4 fingers on the bass string, where again your palm will not be touching the instrument, nor will your thumb be up here or down here. It's just going to be like smack in the middle. And if your fingers are doing this, just correct. Be sure your fingernails are cut far enough. Also, here's where on my finger I'm fretting. That's where the indentation is. At first, everybody's tempted to fret right there, under their fingernail. So, you can use that part of your finger. Here's what it looks like when I was doing that. Not right under my fingernail. Cool. So, when we're doing this, these scales, then just place shoulder width apart, sit up, or, sit in a chair where you're sitting back, but comfortably, not like this or whatever. And now we're just gonna, try to play single note, starting position like a motherfucker, and then single notes, all with down picks. Now when you get to here is where it gets weird for you. So just try to maintain your thumb arm position as close to the same as it was. For anybody, there's going to be a slight this happening when we get onto the high strings, but we're going to try. The short version is just kind of keep your thumb in the same position. Cool. So, go ahead and pause the video and work on that, like it says on the page text there. Approach it like a list, like there's no rhythm. It doesn't even sound that cool to go, I'm playing a scale and rhythm. So our whole goal right now is to have enough conscious focus for you to do this. So just again, awareness, stuff we're thinking about, not seesawing over here. Making sure that you don't skip a string over here, which is the thing you're prone to do, and that set off all of those nuclear what's going on mistakes, was skipping a string, and then everything else was cool. So you shouldn't feel like this right now, you shouldn't feel like this right now, it should just be like, I'm chilling. So not seesawing, take an infinite amount of time, and like we talked about in the previous video, you can shift your focus to your right hand. If you're currently focused on the I'm not going to skip a string, even if it means you make a mistake over here, it's all good. So I'm going to suggest right now, let's focus on exactly that, as that's the biggest glitch you have. That's like throwing things off. So yeah, even if I think you'll probably end up hitting the right notes over here, but just recognize that you can shift your focus really quickly too. Like for instance, you might have to think about index, pinky, and then kind of autopilot the next 3 strings, 3 of the same thing, and then you might look back over here, for instance, and you can just do that like this. We're always shifting our focus. A lot of people look over here all the time at first, a lot of people look over here, you're definitely looking over there. Get gumdrops. So the first thing on your scale just says do that, and that's where we're at right now, number 1 thing. Number 2 says hammer rods. Now we're starting to work on why aren't we seesawing, and what do we do other than just play musical notes? So now it's the same exercise you were just doing, but we're picking each string one single time and doing a hammer on, which came pretty easily to you. And if it feels like you can't reach a ring finger when you get to here, just be sure to get everything squared away. Your middle finger is going to have a feeling of being attached to it. Like when I'm on the 3rd string, 1, 2, 3. There's how our hand looks, like 1, 2, 3 fingers chilling out. If I was going to bend there, I'd be pushing up with these 2 fingers. So like when we move to this string, this finger's going to come along for the ride, and as well as here. So there you go. You're going up the scale, and now you're doing hammer-ons. Having already gotten good at just playing single notes, you're picking each string down. Don't pick these strings up. and I'm doing this in rhythm because I can already do it, pause as much as you need to. Please stop doing that. That's our number 2 on the page. Number 3 on the page is doing pull-offs, and this is the first one that's going to really force your hand, no pun intended, with the seesaw thing, as it's literally impossible to do a pull-off where your hand wasn't already chilling out on the string. So yeah, you're going to have this feeling of your whole hand moving up at the same time, or, you know, this whole thing being a unit. So yeah, you know. Cool, and not worrying about rhythm whatsoever. Now we're super left-hand focused, so if you find yourself striking up or whatever, no big deal, just switch focus over there, it's all good. And certainly don't try to play in rhythm, it's just a list of things that we're doing. If you find that your pull-offs are going and then not sounding, it'll be one of 2 things. Probably that your first finger wasn't actually fretting yet, so it's going like, people have this feeling of I have to like pick this string. We know that's what that was. Or it might be that your middle finger touched the string for a split second. But yeah, so pull off, pull off, pull off, pull off, pull off, pull off. Cool. So there we go. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Please stop and do those. So everything we've done so far has just been regular musical notes. Hammer-ons and pull-offs are still, you know, I just went like no, 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 no versus bends, where we're actually doing something where we bend the tone or do something other than I'm playing a musical note. So what we have on the second page, where we got like number 5, I just wrote the first 3 strings, like you're just playing them, and then we're going these 2 notes, and then bend. If you want to turn that around, feel free. And like we talked about, when we're on the 3rd string, and you're bending, it's going to be with the force of both of these fingers, your ring finger and your middle finger working together to push up, not middle finger off the string. So, and then when you get to the next string, like we talked about a second ago, your middle finger is going to stay attached to your ring finger so that you can bend here successfully, and that's doing it like this, it's almost impossible for me to bend. So there's the good news, it's the same exact thing you do there, it's the same thing, just one that way. So, you know, your middle finger will literally be touching the string, that doesn't change anything. If I'm fretting here, we can do whatever back there. So there we are. We're really just looking to do it on the 3 high strings. And I'm playing this in rhythm because I could, but, you know, it's just a list of things. And, yeah, you know, this is kind of seeing when we need our thumb over the top, but that, you know, when you do this, you will have already done all the other stuff to get comfortable with playing. Yeah, so then, you know, whatever, you know, other, like, riffs you already know, just kind of now play them in, you know, with this new style. But I'll also just write Born Under a Bad Sign really quick. So this is all just single notes. And it's all on the low end of the instrument. We were just emphasizing the high part, so that'll be the last thing I write down there, just Born Under a Bad Sign. This is supposed to suck. Really actually get comfortable with each stage in the process as you go, or it's just not going to really work out. It's all good. This is supposed to suck.